Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin, and welcome back to your latest Chelsea nonsense, daily nonsense. This is what we're up to. We're full of shenanigans. We are full of nonsensical news, as you can see. Look at this beautiful picture of James McAtee. Look at him smiling. Look at all those teeth buzzing, man. Brightness off the hook. The day, ladies and gentlemen, started off with James McAtee, and we've got some latest news about James McAtee again. And in between, there's also a whole heap of other nonsense that we need to go through. This is what it's all about now. We don't do serious stuff at Chelsea Football Club. We do a whole heap of nonsense here. We're going to kick things off with James McAtee. It all started from this tweet, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this already, coming from Kieran Gill, who he's quite reputable. He's very, very reputable when it comes to Chelsea news. Look at this player, man. Manchester City ex-academy player. We love Man City academy players. We love them. Joe Shields. Salute, brother Joe Shields. You're doing a madness. Tosin. Then you've got Cole Palmer. Obviously, Cole Palmer's good. Then you've got Jamie Gittins, Dillap, Romeo Lavia. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few more. But nonetheless, James McAtee, the latest one. So this is the news. Chelsea want to sign a new midfielder. We want to sign a new midfielder because Lavia's numerous injuries and have been following James McAtee closely since his Manchester City days. Now, a couple of days ago, I talked about James McAtee. I said, look, don't be surprised if this name gets floated about because he is not favoured at Nottingham Forest. He's absolutely not favoured, and this is what Just Chelsea put out. He has one start for Nottingham Forest this season with 0 goals and assists, and he's an AM, not a CM, DM like Lavia. Can't be linked to Chelsea simply because he's from Manchester City's academy. Oh, but he can. He can be linked just because he's from Manchester City's academy, because that's what we like. And it's a good point. He's an attacking midfielder. He's not really a centre mid or a defensive midfielder. He likes to play a little bit more further up and thread those passes. Look, don't get me wrong. He's a good player. He's a decent prospect. Absolutely don't get me wrong on that. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, absolutely don't get me wrong on that. But the bottom line, it's unnecessary. It's not needed. This is not what's going to elevate us to the next phase. But you see why we're linked. Young. His transfer fee is going to be probably peanuts. His wages are going to be peanuts. So it falls into our project category. We get the biggest hard on about these sort of opportunities in the market. Our sporting directors who are getting the directive from the owners, they're getting the, direction from the owners, and when they see these sort of opportunities, boom, shakalaka, they get the biggest heart on. They're like, oh, this is one we need to seize. You know what I mean? Like, we need to seize the opportunity right now. It's going to make zero difference. It's going to make zero impact for Chelsea Football Club, these type of signings, because he's another development player. And look, Nottingham Forest, they don't even use him. They don't even use him. Manchester City had no qualms about letting him go. Surplus to requirements. Can't be bothered developing. But Chelsea, we are bothered developing. We want to develop. That's what we're all about. Now, the latest news that has dropped just a moment ago, Ben Jacobs coming out and saying, understand Strasbourg, not Chelsea, are keen on James McAtee as a potential loan. I don't really care. Whether it's Chelsea, whether it's Strasbourg, BlueCo, interested about Brighton players, interested about Manchester City academy players, looking at market opportunities, trying to make business relationships. Like, stop, man. Stop. Just stop. Focus on Chelsea. I don't think Strasbourg needs this either. But you know why Chelsea want to do this? Let's get him, send him to Strasbourg. He stays in Strasbourg for a little bit. Maybe he does well. Then we're going to fast track him to Chelsea. That's what it's all about, man. James McAtee ain't leaving the Premier League to be a permanent player forever at Strasbourg. Ultimately, the vision is for Chelsea. Same with all the players that go to Strasbourg. Ultimately, the vision is for Chelsea. we are forever going to be Ajax Dortmund, just going to be developing. This project philosophy, it needs to change. I'm sorry to say it needs to change. Yes, we've built up some really good players, but some of these players, they're going to F off soon. They're going to leave. They will leave because they are going to be fed up of this nonsense from Chelsea Football Club on a regular basis every season in, season out, really competing for nothing. And accidentally bumping into perhaps some trophies. We're never going to win the Premier League this way. No way. You might win the odd FA Cup, maybe a Carabao Cup. Who knows? Maybe you win the Club World Cup by chance, not by design. So whether you buy this player for Chelsea, for Strasbourg, BlueCo, whatever, however you want to put this together, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. We've got some news coming up that we are not focused on doing any business in January. But before that, Enzo Maresca confirms Hato is out for the game versus Bournemouth. So brilliant. Great news. Just when we needed Jorel Hato, he's gone. And I don't know whether this player is frustrated. He's not being utilized. It's the Renato Vega situation all over again. He's come to Chelsea Football Club, barely seen any minutes. Whatever minutes he's seen, there's been some stinkers as well. Don't get me wrong, he's a 19-year-old. So, there's a problem there in terms of how much maturity does he really have. But at the same time, he's played 100 matches for Ajax. I believe might have even captained Ajax. The bottom line, he's injured now. Cucurella is most likely going to be not featuring against Bournemouth either. Just when you needed Hato, he's not there. I'm not going to be surprised if he's up for, a loan or whatever it is in the January window. Malo Gusto is probably going to feature as the left back. And Reece James, we'll see. We've got some news in regards to Reece James as well. Check this out. Maresca on James and Palmer starting tomorrow. We need to see how they are tomorrow, Sunday, and then we can decide. Like, as much as I love Reece James, and I do, and he's done a fantastic job to keep himself fit, but we've got now too many players, then they can't seem to back up. Wesley Fofana, he's probably going to feature against Bournemouth, but he couldn't feature against Aston Villa. He can't feature more than once a week. Buddy Shield in the same category. Reece James, even though Reece James have been playing a lot more though, but can he back it up against Bournemouth in such a short notice? Not sure. Cole Palmer, he's just come back from groin injury, but it looked like he was building up minutes. Can he back up so quickly? Romeo Lavia, as we all know, is always a question mark. He's got too many injuries. So we've got too many players in this same region. And you can throw in Liam Delap as well. He's been injured quite a few times this season. Way too many players that just can't seem to back up on a regular basis. They cannot play 2 games a week. Sometimes you even need to play 3 games a week. But they definitely can't play 2. So we'll see what type of team is going to be up for the Bournemouth game. My God, I'm telling you right now. We don't win that. I've already forgotten about title. Forget about title challenge. That was done a few weeks back, right? Even top 4, 4th or 5th, we are 10 points behind Aston Villa. We need Aston Villa to collapse in a gargantuan fashion, and we need us to go on a run in a gargantuan fashion. So 2 things need to happen here. Not just 1. And we're 10 points behind Aston Villa. So we need 4 games from them to be effed up. Got a game against Bournemouth. And apparently it could be a farewell game for Semenyo. A farewell game for Semenyo. And then we've got Manchester City. And Semenyo could feature for that as well if he's registered on time. Because from the 1st of January, well, after 31st, from 1 a.m., 1st of January, Semenyo can be a Manchester City player, and they're moving things fast. So let's see how we feature against Bournemouth. Maresca is searching for answers on why Chelsea keep losing leads. Experience? I don't know. I don't think it's random. There you go. This is where we need to focus on the manager as well. Like, we can go off at the project, we can go off at the sporting directors and the owners, but the manager himself is saying, why we keep losing leads all the time? It's not random. I don't think it's random. When something continues to happen, it's not random. We need to understand the reason why. No matter if we are winning, losing, drawing, we concede a goal, we lose a bit of control, we need to understand the reason why it's happening. It's very true. I don't think these are the situations where you can you can just hone in on sporting directors, owners, and the transfer business, because yeah, sure, we should have done better in the left wing spot. We should have done a lot better in the CB spot, but matches like Leeds, matches like Bournemouth, matches like, Brighton, Sunderland, Man United, and so many more, right? Recently, Aston Villa. We are losing not because of quality, because we are showing immense quality at least 45 minutes of the match. So what's happening? Somewhere along the way, it's not clicking. And I feel like this is where the manager, you need to be on top of it. I think sometimes the substitutions are poor, sometimes the starting lineups are poor, sometimes in-game management, the lack of in-game management, not seeing and reacting as to what changes the opposition's making in-game to change the tide around for us. You always have to wait till halftime. But sometimes halftime's gone and the opposition's already done a different, movement. You have to accommodate for it. And we don't seem to cope in those instances. So it isn't random. It really isn't random. And it's not always down to quality. Yeah, sometimes it is down to quality, but not always. Because the same team seems to produce stinkers in the first half against Newcastle, but the same team then comes out and smokes Newcastle in the second half. The same team does really well against Aston Villa in the first half, chokes them. And then in the same team, in the second half, Aston Villa absolutely annihilates us. So something's wrong, and I feel like the manager needs to get to the bottom of it. This is why you get paid the big money. Enzo Maresca is apparently paid very well. Check this out. This is what I wanted to tie in with the James McAtee news. Chelsea have money to spend in January, but are not itching for signings. They believe their squad is competitive enough for the goal of a top 4 finish and deep cup runs. Chelsea don't believe it is beneficial to make mid-season changes and have confidence in their current squad. Chelsea are not actively looking at filling specific gaps currently. I mean, we should have a squad that should be able to get top 4, top 5. We should. Like, if we are unable to do that, that's a huge problem. But right now, we're not able to do that. Right now, it seems to be a problem. Yeah, right now it seems to be a problem. However, you've got the January window. Obviously, get rid of players that we don't want to associate with, but bring in a little bit of quality, man. Bring in a little bit more quality. Give the manager to work with something. Do you know what I mean? Like, a little bit more experience and know-how. At least one. Every window, try your best to improve the team. Sell whoever you need to sell. And then bring in something that's going to give faith to the fan base that, yeah, you know what, you are interested in competing and not just be a number and not just be happy with top 4 or 5, finish, make it to Champions League again, and that's it. It can't roll like that. And please don't get yourself linked with James McAtee or Oscar Bob. That's another ex-Manchester City player. Or, Vitor Roque. These are not the players that are going to do the job for Chelsea Football Club. Simple as. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. What do you think we should do? What do you think we should do for the January window? Should we do some business? Should we not? Let me know in the comment section. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Hype the video, not just like, hype the video as well. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Bye.